In the heart of the 19th century, the world was a very different place. It was a time of great change, marked by industrial progress and social upheaval. Among the many milestones that people celebrated during this period, weddings held a special place in society. They were seen not only as personal unions, but also as significant public events that often drew families and communities together. It is within this rich tapestry of history that our story unfolds, centered on a singular wedding photo taken in 1892. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more. And tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. As we look at this photograph, it's important to understand what weddings meant back then. For many, matrimony represented more than just love. It was a monumental rite of passage filled with traditions and expectations. The couple in our photo likely dressed in their finest attire, reflecting their status in society and marking their transition into adulthood. The bride wore a beautiful gown, perhaps made of silk or lace, adorned with intricate details that showcased craftsmanship of the era. Crowns of flowers or delicate veils would have completed her look, symbolizing purity and the beginning of her new life. It was customary for weddings to be grand occasions that filled churches with friends and family. In 1892, photographs were becoming increasingly popular as a means to capture these fleeting moments forever. The wedding photo we're examining is not just an image. It serves as a snapshot of societal norms at the time and offers insights into the lives of those who lived then. Each detail, every expression captured, tells a story waiting to be explored. Now consider how technology has evolved since then. In 1892, photography was still an emerging art form dominated by long exposures and bulky equipment. Photographers had to carefully compose their shots under less than ideal lighting conditions. This meant that every wedding picture required meticulous planning and execution to ensure its success. Thus, when we gaze upon this wedding photo today, we aren't merely seeing two individuals on their special day. Rather, we are witnessing the culmination of craftsmanship reflecting both personal and cultural significance. The historical context surrounding this photograph also reveals much about societal structures at play during the late 19th century. Marriages were often arranged based on family interests or social standings rather than purely romantic feelings. Love stories like those we see in modern media were rarely portrayed. Instead, partnerships were built on practicality and duty, often influenced by economic considerations. As such, the wedding ceremony itself might have been more about family alliances than individual happiness. At times like these, the burgeoning industrial age, women faced unique challenges compared to men. The bride's future could be shaped significantly by her marriage choices because women had limited rights and independence outside of wedlock. Thus, her wedding day might not only represent love, but also hopes for security and acceptance within her society. This particular photograph holds weight far beyond its visual appeal. It invites us to ponder the uncertainties faced by every individual involved in such ceremonies. Were these faces smiling out of genuine joy or masked expressions hiding deeper concerns? The emotional layers behind such joyful occasions can often be complex. Moreover, understanding why this specific photograph became part of our narrative requires us to delve deeper into its history. A history intertwined with both celebration and sorrow. This wedding leads us down unexpected paths, where happiness quickly turns to heartbreak. As shocking as it may seem today, some couples in that era faced tragic endings on what should have been one of the happiest days of their lives. The contrast between anticipation and reality reminds us how fragile life truly is. A lesson captured forever in this haunting image. And so we arrive at an essential question. What happened next? How did joy turn into tragedy mere moments after vows were exchanged? To grasp the full weight of the story behind this photograph means moving beyond surface-level interpretations. It compels us to engage empathetically with those whose lives are documented here. In conclusion, while gazing upon this historic wedding photo from 1892 may evoke admiration for its artistry and nostalgia for simpler times, it also serves as a reminder that love intertwined with loss is an enduring aspect of human experience across generations. The bride's fate after she walked down the aisle remains a poignant chapter awaiting exploration. It sets the stage for unfolding events marked by both light and shadow. As we delve deeper into this extraordinary tale that began on a day filled with promise yet ended so tragically soon thereafter. To truly appreciate the depth of the wedding photo from 1892, we must take a closer look at the couple whose moment is so beautifully captured. Their backgrounds were complex, shaped by family expectations and societal norms that defined their era. Understanding their lives before they walked down the aisle helps us connect with their story on a more personal level. The bride, whom we shall call Eliza, came from a respectable family with roots in the textile industry. Her parents worked hard to create a comfortable life for her, instilling in her both ambition and responsibility. Eliza was known in her community for her kind heart and bright spirit. As the eldest daughter, she felt a strong sense of duty to her family and often helped her mother manage household tasks while caring for her younger siblings. This nurturing role not only showcased her strength, but also shaped her readiness to take on the responsibilities that came with being a wife. In contrast, the groom, let's name him Thomas, hails from a family of local merchants who had established themselves in the rapidly growing town. His father owned a small shop that sold various goods, reflecting the burgeoning commerce of the time. Thomas was slightly younger than Eliza and had an adventurous spirit, often dreaming about what lay beyond their small community. He had received schooling that allowed him to read widely, fueling his desire for innovation and change. Eliza and Thomas's paths crossed at local gatherings where families from their social circles would meet. Both families believed in traditional values and saw marriage as a key step toward stability and prosperity. While their love may not have been one forged through shared passion initially, it developed over time as they became familiar with each other's quirks and dreams. Thomas was enchanted by how attentive Eliza was to those around her. He admired her grace in handling her duties while making time to help others whenever possible. For Eliza, she found Thomas's enthusiasm infectious. His ideas about business and his ambitions ignited a spark within her. Over time, a genuine affection blossomed between them, leading to their eventual engagement. However, societal pressures weighed heavily on them as well. Family discussions surrounding the matter of their union frequently brought up expectations tied to social status and economic stability. While love was important, marrying well was essential for ensuring future security. Both families viewed this wedding as a merger of two respectable households rather than purely a romantic connection. Their relationship had moments filled with joy, but also uncertainty as they navigated familial obligations. What did it mean for Eliza to break conventions by pursuing her own dreams alongside being an obedient bride? Could Thomas's aspirations survive the limitations imposed by society? As they pondered these questions, they gradually learned about each other's hopes and fears. The wedding day loomed closer, bathed in anticipation, yet overshadowed by unspoken worries, echoing in every decision made. From guest lists to floral arrangements. Their families eagerly prepared for this significant occasion. It was more than just two individuals uniting. It represented prosperity for both families involved. Eliza was particularly excited, yet conflicted about stepping into this new role amid pre-wedding jitters that are common for brides throughout history. She strove to balance personal aspirations and societal expectations while preparing to embrace married life in a world that often placed limits on women's choices. As day turned into night, leading up to the ceremony, small moments replayed in Eliza's mind. Heartfelt conversations with family members offering advice, laughter shared with friends helping her get ready, all adding layers of significance to what lay ahead. Each detail, the lace stitching on her dress or the flowers worn in her hair, had meaning rooted deeply in tradition. Thomas, too, spent restless nights pondering his duties ahead as he envisioned what marriage would entail. Not only loving his partner, but supporting her through the weight of shared responsibilities. Would he protect Eliza from society's constraints or become ensnared by them himself? A struggle that echoed through countless hearts during that era. However, amidst nurturing hopes and fleeting dreams lay something else entirely. A darkness that none anticipated as they ventured towards what should have been the happiest day of their lives. The excitement building toward their union masked deeper anxieties sparked by rumors surrounding health crises afflicting some townsfolk during those times. Whispers that perhaps something sinister lurked beneath the surface of their blissful anticipation. Ultimately, understanding Eliza and Thomas's backgrounds gives us valuable insight into their diverse realities interwoven together. A confluence of familial loyalty, societal pressure, personal ambitions, and evolving romantic feelings, all leading them toward this pivotal moment, captured forever in a single photograph. Yet, even as joy approached its apex during those hours before the ceremony began filling hearts with hope, little did anyone know how swiftly things could change from promise to sorrow, setting forth events intertwining fate's threads into paths unforeseen just days earlier. As we delve further into their story next, stay with us as we explore what unfolds after vows are exchanged and reality takes an unexpected turn. A poignant reminder of how fragility has long residually echoed throughout human experience across generations past. The wedding day dawned with a sense of enchantment enveloping the quaint town where Eliza and Thomas were to exchange their vows. A gentle morning light filtered through the trees, casting playful shadows on the cobblestone streets. It was a day that promised joy, yet an undercurrent of anxiety lingered as everyone prepared for this important event. The air was filled with the fragrances of blooming flowers, mingling with the aromas of hearty meals being prepared in homes nearby, as family and friends gathered to celebrate. The ceremony was held at the town's beloved church, a brick structure with tall steeples that had stood for generations. Its stained glass windows captured vibrant colors from the sunlight, painting patterns on the stone floor inside. The small wooden pews were polished to a shine, ready to welcome guests eager to witness this union. Decorations adorned the church, including fresh blooms gathered from local gardens. Crimson roses and delicate white lilies highlighted the altar and added to the atmosphere of festivity. As guests began to arrive, conversations bubbled with excitement and anticipation. Neighbors exchanged pleasantries while children ran about playing tag in the grassy area outside. The adults wore their Sunday best. Women donned elegant dresses embellished with lace and ribbons, while men sported sharp suits or well-tailored coats accented by vests and ties. Each person appeared to carry joy in their hearts as they took their seats, filling the church with warmth and laughter. Inside, Eliza was surrounded by her closest friends and family as she prepped for her momentous walk down the aisle. The bridal chamber was filled with laughter and chatter as her friends helped her adjust her gown. Eliza's dress was a beautiful creation of ivory silk, adorned with intricate lace detailing that flowed gracefully around her figure. A delicate veil framed her face beautifully, enhancing her radiant smile as she caught glimpses of herself in the mirror. A vision of beauty preparing for what lay ahead. Outside the church, Thomas waited anxiously at the altar alongside his best man. Dressed in a dark suit that complemented his handsome features, he felt both excitement and nervousness course through him. As he watched friends and family fill the pews, their smiles beaming back at him, his heart raced at what this day would mean for both him and Eliza. As time drew closer for the ceremony to begin, hushed whispers filled the space, each guest recalling stories about Eliza and Thomas. How they had grown into adults together while navigating society's expectations. Their love story had captured hearts within their community. Today represented not only love, but also hope for prosperous futures intertwined between two families. When it came time for Eliza to make her entrance, silence fell over the gathering like a soft blanket draping across their shoulders. The music began. A gentle melody played by an organist stationed discreetly at one side. And all heads turned toward Eliza as she stepped through the ornate doors of the church. Gasps of admiration escaped from those present. She looked ethereal gliding down that aisle toward Thomas. Every step felt monumental as she walked closer to him. Their eyes locked in an embrace that transcended words. Eliza's heart swelled with emotion. Finally reaching Thomas felt surreal yet liberating after much anticipation leading up to this momentous occasion. Thomas's eyes sparkled as he witnessed his bride approach, with every detail encapsulating what it meant for them to embrace this journey together, amid hopes deeply rooted within familial bonds. Finally standing before one another at the altar, surrounded by loved ones who cared deeply about them, made it all real. The vows exchanged carried weight beyond mere words spoken aloud. They were promises laced with sincerity, meant to honor commitments made not just between two people, but extending through generations past, forging deeper ties created through marriage. The officiant spoke solemnly about love's enduring nature, while reminding them both that marriage means support during trials ahead, alongside joyful celebrations shared, the perfect balance between duty and companionship, blending harmoniously into one life journey unfolding. After exchanging rings, symbols of eternity marking their devotion to each other, cheers erupted within those hallowed walls, celebrating unity birthed anew amidst bubbling emotions reflected gently in teary yet joyous eyes, watching closely every moment unfold before them, capturing fragments forever immortalized within memory, rather than solely photographs taken afterward. A collective experience held dear, threading together countless individuals bonded similarly across generations, now intertwining paths onward toward bright tomorrows full promise. Seen shining brightly above shared dreams, waiting just beyond reach, now beginning ever more beautifully realized, hand in hand forevermore, as they sealed their vows with a kiss, marking this new chapter beginning together. Applause rang out, echoing throughout sacred spaces, lingering joyfully, carrying sweet notes high above into warm spring air. Swirling gently outside, where flowers danced lightly too, celebrating unity formed beneath sunny skies. A celebration awaited eagerly. Guests soon mingled nearby, enjoying delectable dishes laid out before them, inviting laughter, mixing alongside heartfelt conversations shared among family members reconnecting after time apart. Leading everyone deeper into festivities, blossoming naturally around them, reflecting soft sunlight, shimmering against smiling faces, gracing every table set, beautifully decorated amidst nature, embracing life, fully alive, ringing each moment, relishing memories crafted endlessly, playing out vividly, still resting lightly, awaiting breathlessly ahead, always drawing forth stories continuing onward, forever, united, celebrating journeys taken together, filling hearts, woven thickly together, eternally cherished, like timeless threads, echoing tenderly felt warmth, leaving traces behind, long after joyous ceremonies concluded, carrying forward echoes, living bright, resonating timelessly, guiding softly each member linked, closely, joining hands, stepping boldly forth into futures unknown, waiting patiently, welcoming journeys, unfolding just beyond horizon calls. As the ceremony began, the atmosphere inside the quaint church was electric with anticipation. Friends and family settled into their pews, excitement palpable as the officiant made his way to the altar. He was a kind figure known to both families, and his presence brought comfort to everyone present. The warm glow of candlelight flickered around the room, reflecting off the polished surfaces and highlighting the vibrant stained glass windows, which cast colorful patterns on the stone floor beneath. Eliza stood beside Thomas at the altar, feeling a mix of nerves and pure joy. She was acutely aware of her beautiful gown, which flowed gracefully around her, embellished with delicate lace that caught the light in enchanting ways. Her heart raced as she looked at Thomas. He wore an expression filled with love and excitement that made her feel cherished. They had both dreamed of this day, and now it was finally here. The officiant welcomed everyone warmly, expressing gratitude for their presence on this momentous occasion. He spoke eloquently about love's significance and the sacred bond of marriage, reminding everyone that this union was not just about two individuals, but a celebration of their families coming together in support of love and commitment. His words resonated in the hearts of those gathered. Each note seemed to weave them all closer together. As the officiant prepared to guide them through their vows, Eliza felt butterflies fluttering in her stomach. It was time for Thomas to share his promises first. He took a deep breath, cleared his throat, and declared with sincerity, "I, Thomas, take you, Eliza, to be my wedded wife." His voice trembled slightly, but was full of conviction as he continued to speak his vows thoughtfully. "I promise to love and cherish you in every circumstance of life." Eliza listened intently as he spoke each vow with heartfelt emotion. It was as if every word painted a picture of their future together. She could see their dreams unfolding in front of her eyes, building a home filled with laughter, standing side by side through challenges, and nurturing each other's aspirations. When Thomas promised to be there during difficult times as well as joyful moments, a tear slipped down Eliza's cheek, not out of sadness, but from the immense weight of this commitment they were forging. Then it was Eliza's turn. Taking a deep breath, she gazed into Thomas's eyes, feeling his unwavering support fill her with courage. "I, Eliza," she began softly yet firmly, "take you, Thomas, to be my husband." She continued with passion resonating through her voice. "I promise to encourage your dreams and support you through life's challenges." Each vow she spoke carried significance. It wasn't just about tradition, but represented her genuine devotion to him. "I will laugh with you in times of joy and comfort you in times of sorrow," she vowed earnestly. The room seemed to hold its breath as she finished her promises. Everyone could sense how deeply she meant each promise made and how vital these words were. As they concluded their vows, the officiant invited them to exchange rings, the symbols of their everlasting commitment. The rings gleamed under the soft light as they slid onto each other's fingers, representing a bond formed not just by love, but by shared dreams and mutual respect. With their rings in place and promises made, cheers erupted from family members seated all around them. The sound resonated like music, filling the sacred space with warmth and love. The joyful noise wrapped around Eliza and Thomas like an embrace as they turned toward each other once more for their first kiss as a married couple. Gentle applause mingled with laughter filled the air as moments passed quickly. Everything felt surreal yet perfectly real at once. Throughout this entire ceremony, key moments were captured in memories that would remain vivid for years to come. The radiant smile on Eliza's face when she first saw Thomas awaiting her at the altar. The glistening tears in their parents' eyes reflecting pride. The heartfelt exchanges of vows that served not only as personal commitments, but resonated universally among all who witnessed it. As they pulled away from their kiss amidst joyous clapping ringing through wooden beams overhead, brightened by sunlight streaming through tall windows, the couple knew what lay ahead would not be easy. Still hope filled their hearts alongside an unbreakable trust forged between them. After sealing their vows with shared kisses echoing affection, long-standing nestled close beside cherished families, creating lifelong connections, weaving rich stories throughout generations, retelling them warmly. After such sacredness unfolded brightly within, once again illuminating paths untraveled, where love unfolded patiently, gifting new beginnings, long-awaited waiting, only for hands joined securely bound together, becoming one soul, weaving prayers, nestled gently guarded bright memories born anew. Blooming where shadows once cast, now dancing vibrantly alive, awaiting journeys, stretching eagerly forward. Filled with joy, radiating brightly around, all gathered witnessing this union, a collective moment reflecting harmony shared. Everyone embraced sentiments, allowing laughter blended seamlessly amongst tears, intertwining emotions, harmonizing effortlessly, threading memories, freshest felt woven, sweetly filled toward lasting happiness, carried forth carrying tones, forever echoing eternal lifetimes, intertwined. Resonantly carrying forth future promises, lived brightly, sliding softly upward, reaching infinitely saturating hearts, next generations waiting. Waiting patiently, savoring timeless joys ahead, which would whisper back echoes unfolding beautifully, granting everything cherished, eternally bound together, emerging, gripping tightly woven threads. As the hustle and bustle of the wedding celebration continued, the evening's charm gradually shifted into an anxious atmosphere. Guests mingled, laughter still echoed around them, and glasses clinked in joyous toasts celebrating love and new beginnings. However, while Eliza smiled and greeted family and friends, an inexplicable wave of dread began to settle in her heart, a feeling she could not quite dismiss. After a few hours of the festivities, Eliza excused herself from the crowd, feeling an unusual heaviness in her chest. She stepped outside for some fresh air, seeking solace beneath the starlit sky. The night was beautiful, yet foreboding. Despite the beauty surrounding her, unease nagged at her thoughts as if something terrible were lurking just out of sight. As she stood there breathing in the cool night air, a sudden wave of dizziness washed over her. Clutching her stomach instinctively, she staggered slightly against a nearby tree for support. Panic surged within her as she realized this discomfort was not merely nerves from excitement, but something deeper and more troubling. Moments later, Thomas noticed that Eliza had been gone too long. Concern prickled at him as he made his way outside to find her. When he spotted her leaning against the tree, he rushed toward her. "Eliza, what's wrong?" he asked urgently, taking her hands in his and studying her pale face. I don't feel well," Eliza managed to say as she struggled to catch her breath. Her voice trembled with fear. "Let's get you inside," Thomas replied quickly, worry etched across his features. He wrapped an arm around her waist for support and guided her back toward their home, where warmth and safety awaited them. Upon entering the parlor, Thomas helped Eliza into a chair before rushing to fetch water. But as he turned away, he could feel a sense of dread welling up inside him, a gut feeling that something awful was about to unfold. The playful atmosphere of their wedding celebration felt like a distant memory now overshadowed by the dark cloud gathering around them. Eliza sat quietly, breathing heavily as she held onto her abdomen. Thomas returned with water and knelt beside her chair. "Please drink this," he urged gently, helping her take small sips despite her protests. But as moments passed, it became apparent that something was deeply wrong. Eliza's condition seemed to worsen rapidly. The color drained from her face even further, and alarming shivers coursed through her body. Her deep breaths became more labored as beads of sweat formed on her brow. "Stay with me, Eliza," Thomas pleaded softly as desperation rose in him. He felt helpless watching his beloved bride slip away from him mere hours after they had pledged their lives to each other. Just then, a neighbor who had noticed the commotion arrived at their door upon hearing rumors circulating about illness spreading throughout the community following recent gatherings. Confirmation of their fears came quickly when she saw Eliza in distress. "We need to call for the doctor," the neighbor said urgently, while assessing Eliza's pallor and shallow breaths with growing concern reflected across their faces. In frantic haste, Thomas rushed outside again into the night, seeking help while praying desperately for nothing more than his bride's swift recovery. Each step echoed heavy upon cobblestones along paths leading next doors, hastily searching among neighbors still lingering, post-celebration gathering, inviting familiarity, inviting warmth into homes, dimming alongside, worries rising above skies, darkening overhead, whispers carried through moonlit reflections, growing somber, stirring clouds, concealing secrets, concealed deeper, hidden behind shadows surrounding them, all caught adrift, threading memories shared among joyous promises exchanged before clouds bore. Down heavily rising swiftly now, threatening all once brightened, ever-living, closer together, experiencing only pain, threatening futures suddenly caught on edges, unseen, spiraled tightly, growing somehow, subtly woven forever, still reaching, grasping, holding tight-born, hope cast amidst shadows, thickened, aligning, deeper weaving connections. Shared adorned, newly treasured always longing looking ahead. Desperately clinging, forging brighter untold stories, woven closely, glowing brightly dewy mornings, stretching forth, beckoning, endlessly woven, unbroken bonds, hearts racing, drawn united tight. Battling against sorrows named by love, embracing, carrying them forward, cloistered, hidden amidst clearer skies. Love, glimmering strong alongside uncertainties, shared, stretched tightly, bonding hearts, fiercely forward, dreaming eternally nearer, always beckoning joy. Writ, large sown, lovingly entwined, newly born dreams, alive, awaiting transformed anew, forever staying nourished, bounded tightly, breathing life, stitched fervently, held closely moving ahead. Finally returning breathless with news, the doctor was on his way. To find Eliza barely conscious, slumped within chair tears, pooling boldly, shimmering, reflecting luminous embrace, shared longing years, spent yearning patiently, intertwining every heartbeat. Counting fondly, still hoping, holding gently bound togetherness, strongly enshrined, collective wishes, whispered softly, reaching jointly embraced, filled deep, shared pulling toward familial strength. Forged, unwavering standing, side by side lights, guiding surely beckoning all. Preparing behold, waiting through woven tales destined, unfolding magic sparked brightly lighting steps, widening horizons, illuminating sweetly open, allowing couples paths, danced vibrantly entwined, revealing promises, painted gentle pastels, painting images, spun wide canvases, reading dreams, waiting steadfastly brighter, ever glowing, illuminating vibrant colors, blooming fully alive, stretching toward branches, beckoning warmly, alive, resolutely underlined, tracing every heart, each step, graced newly unfurled memories, anxiously awaiting crafting journeys carried brightly ahead. But just as dawn began breaking sacred light upon bringing hope alive, shimmering grew ever darker, pulling closer, hiding clouds. The doctor finally arrived, moments too late. Despite all his efforts to stabilize Eliza, a mere whisper escaping lips, passing softly, cutting through the silence, echoing winding paths, traced close amid promises. Now vanished sorrow, spilling silently, emptiness heralded Phil's realm, turning shadows, cradling bittersweet bright, hoping always wishing, remaining stitched tightly longing. The aftermath of Eliza's death cast a pall over her family and friends that would be felt long after the wedding day was over. The celebratory atmosphere that had enveloped them just hours prior dissipated, replaced by an overwhelming sense of disbelief and sorrow. A wedding that started with joy became the occasion for mourning, as guests arrived at the home of Thomas and Eliza to pay their respects. Eliza's mother was among the first to arrive, accompanied by a few close relatives. As she stepped inside, her eyes were filled with uncomprehending grief. Moments before, she had watched her daughter walk down the aisle in a beautiful gown, radiant and happy. Now, she was met with silence and unbearable emptiness, echoing through the halls where happiness had recently thrived. She clutched her heart tightly, as if trying to hold on to the loving memories before they could slip away forever. Thomas stood by, feeling lost between two worlds: the joy of marriage he had just celebrated and the profound loss that shattered his thoughts. Candles flickered ominously in the dim light, illuminating the pain etched across every face as family members huddled together, seeking solace in one another. Thomas's hands trembled as he tried to console Eliza's family, while wrestling with his own devastating emotions. Whispers traveled quietly through the gathering. Questions about what had happened, worries about how such a healthy young woman could succumb so quickly. Some began to speculate on illness. They turned their gaze towards Thomas frequently, searching for answers or seeking reassurance from him, even as he battled his own confusion. Hadn't she seemed fine at the ceremony? One guest dared to ask softly, glancing furtively at others for confirmation. She looked so full of life. Another voice echoed from somewhere near the back of the room as muffled sobs broke into silence. How could this happen? As sympathy poured forth from neighbors who had shared in their celebration earlier that day, each statement felt like a dagger plunging deeper into Thomas's heart. He felt an insatiable need to shield Eliza's parents from this reality. But he knew there was no sheltering them from such heartache now unraveling in front of him. Friends began to come in droves, bringing food dishes meant for a joyous celebration, now becoming offerings of comfort, meant to ease a heavy burden instead. Cooked meals were set out on tables where leftovers from the wedding feast once thrived. They would not be wasted during these solemn hours, though they sat untouched alongside platters full of worry, hidden within hearts connected tight, held gently mixing dread born amid everything exchanged, before sweet laughter turning thick, grounded memories collected, rich, pouring lovingly, weaving sentiment, traveling shared ties, binding souls indelibly regret, surrounding ever whispering softly, carried warmly, alongside yearning questions, reminding those gathered here, painfully, how fleeting life could cruelly appear, stealing moments once lived, breathing bright now, resolutely dwelling far deeper, filling every crevice, dimming flames, dwindling bright embers, threatening hope. Desperately searching, far tirelessly longs, chasing light, calling peaceful knowing anchors, resting hearts, freeing loved ones, risen, stretching, alongside tendrils grasp, drawing closer, filled coaxing pain, along tighter nestled gently, forever entwined souls beckoning. Always cherished memory, delighting its pulse, treasured heartfelt, softly cantering slowly. As hours flowed seamlessly, blending laughter echoed sadly, eventually falling silent, leaving only memories, cradled dreams. Thomas moved among guests, offering comfort wherever possible, while gratitude sparked outrageously bright dazzles, produced tenderness, pushing beyond heartstrings, singing beauty, fretting warmly. Everything shook perilously, scenes shifting light, trembling golden glimpses awash, painted warmth, simply resolved woven trails spun tightly alive, possessing ever-awaited air. Beating softly, accepting love. Shimmering little light traces, eagerly warming, gathering each cherished heartbeat. Daring honor placed upon gentler holds, freed solemn stretch drew forth, entangled bonds requiring nurture, gently shielding people. Intertwined, reaching again, deep, eternally lifting heavier fogs, brimming, dimming colors, converted shades held bright, aiming steadfast, unwavering, choosing, follow figuring. Always enough smiled warmth, kindling gathering sewn, freely tied restitch, after generations slept painstakingly, pushing forth healing, embracing tender cries, rightfully shared, long-lingered full-size performances, mighty longing lifetimes, lush beside blending harmony, always shimmering, ignited embers, tender woven hugs released, dance dust cloud, opening void, spinning endlessly, breaking center steady, dreaming, eternal, blooming free. Still nudging infinitely, beyond shadows, desperately waiting, reaching out, brightly, sending loops, tracing shapes, flourishing vibrant colors, warmed, poignant, ever gentle pulsing. Endurance, flowing wild, drenched, returning bracing safety, pretending pointing boldly symphonies, enticing all encircling lifted skies. Giggles flutter, then falling heavily back, through holding pressed walls, crumbling infinitely encased, behind twinkling warm lights, shielding lives, cherished drawn among shadows, left dormant stilled beneath shifting clouds, hovering, watching closely, still insisted beams lifting. Grief settled heavy. Each tear dropped, held captive myriad thoughts, threaded passionately forward. Leading whispered reflections, perpetuating spiraled memories, ever alive. Washed throbbingly softly, sweeping reverence, woven brightly new moving song. Forever trailing alongside journey, untethered toward brightening, setting suns, weaving serenades, twinkled lingering flares, hauntingly leading exhalations, easing, lapsing, contorting, tugging, dissolving, tearing forth, welcoming calls, seeking, swallowing, ringing harmonies, arcing along flight ready filled alive. Waiting journeys cry riding, silken whispers beckoning tender dreams together, holding all breathing envelop, refundable song swirling. Blossoming, ethereal spinning, perpetual trackless radiant honor, traced faithfully thrice, capturing echoes, unyieldingly stitched, cherished threads alive, inviting fellow travelers adored. Eliza's untimely death sent shockwaves through her small town, deeply affecting the community and prompting a reevaluation of social customs and norms. The vibrant atmosphere that once enveloped the town during celebrations transformed into one marked by mourning, forcing residents to confront their own beliefs about life, death, and the fragility of existence. As news of Eliza's passing spread, conversations sprang up throughout homes and shops. Families began gathering in hushed tones to discuss their feelings of disbelief and sadness. Many had attended her wedding just days earlier, witnessing what they believed was the start of a beautiful new chapter. Now, they were faced with the stark reality that just as life could begin anew, it could also be taken away without warning. The impact on the community went beyond individual grief. It prompted collective soul-searching. Families began to share their own stories of loss and illness, opening up about fears that had long been buried under the societal pressure to maintain composure. As they shared memories of Eliza, her laughter at family gatherings, her kind gestures toward others, the reality set in that life was fleeting. This realization sparked an urgency among the townspeople to cherish their loved ones more openly and profoundly. In this era, discussions about health and hygiene were often minimal. Society had not yet fully embraced modern medical understanding. The tragedy surrounding Eliza's death highlighted a lack of awareness regarding illness prevention and healthcare practices within the community. Neighbors began questioning how they cared for each other during gatherings, considering simple but crucial changes, such as ensuring food was properly handled or avoiding close contact with anyone who showed signs of sickness. This tragedy also revealed the tight-knit nature of their community. Friends who might normally have kept their distance now rallied around Thomas and Eliza's family, offering support in profound ways. They organized meal trains to ensure that no family member would feel overwhelmed by daily chores while grieving. Offers of help became more than mere words. They transformed into actions that illustrated true solidarity. Social customs began to shift as well. Where once there had been a clear distinction between celebrations of love and periods of mourning, boundaries began to blur. Community members started discussing how grief could coexist with joy. They sought ways to honor Eliza's memory while still celebrating life's moments together. This led to the establishment of a local charity in her name, aimed at supporting families dealing with sudden loss or sickness within the community. Eliza's funeral itself became a communal event like no other. A gathering filled not only with sorrow, but also with stories celebrating her life. People from all walks of life came together to pay their respects, reinforcing ties among neighbors who might not have previously engaged deeply with one another. Services began incorporating elements that paid homage to communal resilience. Prayers were offered not just for Eliza, but for everyone affected by such tragedies. In addition, Eliza's death sparked deeper conversations around women's health in particular, something often overlooked in a society where men dominated discussions on public health and well-being. More women began vocalizing their experiences concerning reproductive health issues or illnesses they had endured quietly over years without proper acknowledgement or treatment. Empowered by loss, many women formed support groups where they shared stories openly about hardships faced due to limited access to care, all igniting change slowly over time within societal frameworks. As weeks turned into months following Eliza's passing, this tragedy lingered in collective memory, driving home lessons learned through heartache, welcomed deeper understanding, reaching far beyond immediate circles, drawn tight, connecting lives, woven closely together, pulling bright threads, reminding them always chasing hope. Lighting pathways, guiding futures, promising brighter tomorrows, leading ever onward, embracing warmth, carrying forth love, eternally shining. Bright, illuminating spaces cradled between enduring sorrow. Dancing, intertwined, weaving patterns, etched beautifully within heartstrings, reaching out tenderly beckoning, always finding solace, grounded closely toward homes, built strong resilience, anchored firmly nestled securely against storms, weathered holding steady dreams, unyielding, risen anew. Life, affirming renewed purpose, woven graciously lifting shadows, gently embracing light, shared brightly celebrating love, forever cherished, tightly bound, tracing, eternally living, joyously, flickering tenderly heartbeats, echoing softly, dancing, vibrantly, illuminating all paths, lovingly traveled onward. Thus emerged a new age within this small town. Post-Eliza, a community more aware of the need for connection, rooted deeply embracing each other wholeheartedly, through both moments filled with laughter and those submerged deep within grief, giving rise, ultimately honoring memories, cherished, allowing love. Blossoming resilient hearts, forged stronger together, inviting fresh beginnings, awaiting endlessly unfolding brighter horizons, alive. Awaiting grasp gently held, anchoring faith, filled dreams, beckoning forth, ever shining brightly, illuminated, brightly lived. Always finding beauty amid echoes, forever cherished lives, lovingly intertwined, threading journeys ahead, together. In the wake of Eliza's tragic passing, the community found itself in deep reflection on the intertwined themes of love and loss. Her death not only shook the foundations of those who loved her, but also sparked an introspection that rippled through the town like a stone dropped into a still pond. People began to gather in small groups, sharing their thoughts, fears, and cherished memories of Eliza. Each story serving as a thread weaving together a collective tapestry of grief and remembrance. Love, once celebrated in joyous gatherings filled with laughter, now took on a new dimension amidst sorrow. For many, Eliza had embodied the very essence of love, a love that was not just romantic, but also familial and communal. Friends recounted how her kindness had touched countless lives. She had made each person feel special and valued. Her ability to spread warmth and joy became an enduring memory that would now live on in the hearts of those she left behind. But with this exploration of love came an acute awareness of loss, a stark reminder of life's fragility. The community's collective grief revealed how interconnected their lives were. They were not merely individuals living parallel existences, but rather threads woven tightly together in a larger fabric. The realization that someone so full of potential could be taken so suddenly cast a shadow over the vibrant life they had previously enjoyed together. It prompted heartfelt discussions about mortality, an uncomfortable subject often swept under the rug. As neighbors shared stories about Eliza's laughter or her bright spirit, there was an undeniable sense of healing through shared experience. Each memory recounted served as both a tribute to her life and a way for them to confront their own fears about loss. They found solace in the fact that while Eliza was no longer physically present, her spirit lived on through these stories, blending into the very fabric of their community. Within this atmosphere of mourning and reflection, social customs began to evolve. Previously held beliefs about grief shifted as community members realized that it was perfectly acceptable to express sorrow openly and seek comfort from one another. No longer did traditional customs dictate rigid boundaries between joy and mourning. Instead, they combined them into something beautifully complex, where laughter could emerge even in times of sadness. Eliza's death also prompted an awakening among women in the community regarding health issues that were often overlooked. Many began speaking out about their own struggles with illness or reproductive health. Topics rarely discussed openly due to societal norms dictating silence around such matters. Empowered by the tragedy, women formed small support groups where they could share experiences and offer one another guidance on navigating medical concerns affecting their lives. This sense of solidarity fostered strength among them, a testament to how love could blossom even amid deep loss. Moreover, Eliza's charity, established in her name, became a beacon for change within the town. It signaled how loss could lead to action aimed at supporting others facing similar challenges. The charity provided resources for families dealing with sudden losses or health crises, an acknowledgement that while grief was personal, it also wielded communal responsibility toward one another. Time moved forward from those harrowing days following Eliza's death. Her memory remained alive within the community. It transformed into something greater than individual sorrow. It became a rallying point for love that continued despite heartache. Celebrations turned into commemorations, not just recognizing significant events, but honoring those who had passed while cherishing what they contributed during their lifetimes. In moments when laughter bubbled up around dinner tables or during town gatherings, residents would pause to reflect fondly on Eliza's impact. Her spirit lingered brightly like sunlight streaming through leaves on an autumn day, casting playful shadows beneath branches, waving softly against gentle breezes, inviting smiles echoing warmth forever stitched tightly alongside unbreakable bonds forged among neighbors sharing deep connections held dear. Always fluttering gently, beckoning forth fresh beginnings, awaiting anew. with every heartbeat reminding them all how precious these fleeting moments lived, entwined truly are. Through grieving together as one harmonious being, emerged resilient, newly forged, stronger, ever carrying forth light, treasured closely illuminating paths, walking boldly forward, endlessly onward. Weaving tales intertwined eternally, reshaping futures, promising brighter tomorrows, reigniting flames, flickering softly, igniting hope, divided beyond shadows, darkened alive, dancing, eternal whispers, forever cherished. The wedding photo of Eliza and Thomas, taken in 1892, serves as a poignant historical artifact that encapsulates not just a moment in time, but also the emotions, traditions, and societal norms of an era. Over the years, this photograph has been carefully preserved, becoming a treasured piece of family history that resonates with future generations. Its physical preservation, kept in a protective case or stored in a family album, ensures that this significant image remains accessible for those who come after, allowing them to connect with their past. The act of preserving the photo transcends mere maintenance. It transforms Eliza's story into a legacy. For descendants who stumble upon this image, it offers an invitation to explore family history and the lives of those who came before them. The photo stands as a window into a time when love was celebrated with grand ceremonies, yet often intertwined with societal pressures and expectations. Future generations can learn about the complexities faced by women like Eliza, who navigated the delicate balance between personal dreams and societal roles. Among those who view the photo, there sparks curiosity, not only about the couple themselves, but also about the cultural and societal context in which they lived. Questions arise. What were weddings like in the 19th century? How did societal norms dictate relationships? What challenges did Eliza face as a woman during that time? These inquiries encourage young family members to delve deeper into their heritage, prompting discussions about love, duty, and resilience that resonate even today. Moreover, Eliza's tragic fate adds another layer of meaning to the photograph. As future generations study it, they encounter not just a joyful moment frozen in time, but also a reminder of life's fragility. The abrupt shift from celebration to mourning, including the countless stories shared by family members about Eliza's kindness and vibrant spirit, serves as a powerful testament to how quickly joy can turn into sorrow. This understanding cultivates empathy and reflection within younger generations as they confront their own fears regarding loss and mortality. The impact of preserving this photograph extends beyond individual families. It becomes part of the community's collective memory, as local histories are documented and shared. Eliza's story intertwines with that of the town itself. The photo symbolizes not only her life, but also the values and traditions upheld by the community during that era. It serves as an important reminder of the bonds formed around shared celebrations and collective grief, a reflection of how life events shape communal identity. In the years following Eliza's death and through the establishment of charitable initiatives in her name, her legacy continues to inspire action within the community. The charity serves as a reminder of how loss can spur positive change. It encourages local families to support one another during times of hardship. This sense of solidarity resonates through generations, perpetuating a cycle in which love and compassion flourish even amid adversity. As Eliza's wedding photo is passed down through family lines, it transforms into a symbol of resilience and hope, a narrative thread woven through time that reminds future generations of their roots. Each viewing becomes an opportunity to honor her memory, while also celebrating the enduring nature of love that unites families and communities alike. In classrooms or family gatherings, discussions sparked by this single photograph can ignite awareness about health issues, relationships, and community responsibility. topics that remain relevant today. Families may find themselves inspired to engage in conversations about emotional well-being, societal expectations, or even health practices, echoing themes that emerged during Eliza's own life and passing. Ultimately, Eliza's wedding photo stands as both a cherished relic and a beacon guiding future generations toward understanding their heritage. It embodies love that transcends time while inviting contemplation about how personal stories shape collective histories. As descendants reflect on this photograph, they embrace a rich legacy filled with lessons learned from both love and loss. The very fabric that connects them all through generations past, present, and future. Thus, this wedding photo does more than capture a moment. It preserves a legacy filled with hope, resilience, and the timeless power of love. A lesson passed down through time, reminding all who see it that while life is fragile, love endures forever in memory and spirit. The story of Eliza and Thomas, captured in that fateful wedding photo from 1892, serves as a profound exploration of love, loss, and the indelible impact of memories on both individuals and communities. Their wedding day began with hope and excitement, embodying the beauty of new beginnings amidst societal norms that placed expectations upon their shoulders. Yet, this promise swiftly transformed into tragedy as Eliza's unexpected death shattered not only their dreams, but also rippled throughout their community. In reflecting upon this tale, we see how Eliza's life and subsequent passing compelled the town to confront uncomfortable truths about health, vulnerability, and mortality. The community was forced to reevaluate its customs surrounding grief. What once may have been unspoken taboos about illness now opened pathways for vital discussions that would shape how they supported one another during times of hardship. The establishment of a charity in her name became a symbol of collective resilience, a way for residents to channel their grief into action and ensure that her legacy endured in meaningful ways. Furthermore, the preservation of Eliza and Thomas's wedding photo over time stands testament to the importance of remembering those who have come before us. This artifact is not merely an image. It represents a connection to history, a narrative thread linking generations together through shared stories of love and heartache. Future descendants who gaze upon this photograph are invited into a dialogue with their past, encouraged to explore family histories while considering broader themes of life's fragility. As they share experiences rooted within its frame, younger generations may discover valuable lessons about navigating relationships amid societal pressures. A reminder that love can flourish even when faced with adversity. The conversation sparked by this single image will illuminate how deeply intertwined lives can be within communities. It reflects the enduring legacy individuals leave behind through acts of kindness or moments spent sharing laughter. Eliza's story serves as a poignant reminder that while life can bring joy in abundance, it can also usher in profound sorrow unexpectedly. The duality of these experiences enriches our understanding of humanity, compelling us to appreciate fleeting moments more intensely while reminding us to cherish those we hold dear. Through love's persistent light shining amidst darker times, families may find strength forged from shared heartaches, propelling them forward toward brighter tomorrows. In preserving Eliza's memory through her wedding photo and the collective stories shaped around her life and passing, the community establishes an essential framework for processing grief while celebrating love. A delicate balance that resonates across time. This interconnectedness enriches communal identity, illuminating paths leading toward healing where individuals learn from one another while embracing vulnerability rather than shunning it. Ultimately, Eliza's legacy encourages us all to honor those lost by fostering deeper connections among ourselves. reminding us that every life holds significance worth remembering long after its chapters conclude. As we reflect upon her journey, entwined with Thomas's through shared trials marked by both joy and sorrow. Combined, tightly woven into fabric, comprise deeply interwoven hearts, laid bare tenderly, igniting hope unyieldingly alive. This enduring presence inspires future generations not just to remember, but actively engage with these stories, lovingly carried forth, gently shaping memories, eternally cherished forever, threading journeys onward. Thus emerges an essential truth from Eliza's experience. While tragedy inevitably comes knocking at our doors periodically throughout existence, it is love, the powerful force enduring beyond. The spirit radiates forever, returning, always whispering sweetly, urging all forward, beckoning forth warmth, cradled closely entwined, intimately leading brightly forever, onward into futures anew, awaiting embrace, nurtured lovingly, flowering still endlessly, blossoming bright, inviting growth, shared filled expansively, inviting laughter, echoing lovely paths traveled together.